In my business, we only have 5 employees, so I haven't put a payroll service in place. Will that be a problem for me to get funding?
Great question. We were just talking about that. Small companies often overlook this kind of thing and they think they can manage it themselves. But I really would recommend you don't. Leave it to a professional and work with somebody that can help you as you grow, because you're going to grow, you're going to add people. And so if you try and do everything with a large payroll service, chances are they're not going to provide that human touch that you might need. You know, I've got somebody that's starting out of state. What do I do? So I'd recommend you get with an expert to help you with that, and happen to have one right here.
Yeah, part of our job is to try and make the complex simple.
Yeah.
And when it comes to payroll, I'll give you 2 examples of how it can get complex for the small business owner. One is, if you look carefully at all the information that ends up on a W-2, you'll find there's around potentially 70 different pieces of information that may need to go on there. Now, there is no business, no employee situation that uses every single one of them.
Right.
But part of the challenge is knowing which ones to use.
Yeah.
Coupled with that is the tax deposit obligations. Many small businesses end up in a scenario where they have anywhere between 30 and 70 different payroll tax deposit due dates.
Wow.
During the course of the year that they have to manage. When you take into account the IRS, the state withholding agencies, and the state unemployment agencies, and in some states, of course, local taxes as well.
Right. It's a minefield.
It's a minefield.
Yeah.
And so our job is to boil all of that down into one transaction on payday.
Right.
And for the small business owner, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
When it comes to working with a payroll
Takes
service.
the stress away, and why wouldn't you want to do that? Do you see companies that start with you, do they often add a lot more people than perhaps you expected? They grow faster just because they now don't have to worry about it?
Sometimes they do, and sometimes it comes back to cash flow management as well. I've seen businesses that were trying to manage it themselves and constantly getting surprised by a tax deposit that came due that they forgot about. It was from something that happened a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden they're in that problem.
Now it's a crisis.
Yeah. So when they get the cash flow under control, then they can focus on growing the business.
Right, exactly. Well, again, my advice, you're never too small to take on, to have a payroll service take on for you. And take it off your shoulders, because you need to focus on your business and growing your business, and not worry about all of these complex things that you don't understand unless you're an expert in payroll, which is probably unlikely. And we do see a lot of clients that come on board with us. They can be very small. They try and do it, and we'll say, okay, but we strongly recommend you look after this, because we don't want you to get into a situation where you're spending all your time trying to fix a problem that's occurred because you overlooked something you didn't know about, or you've missed a tax deadline or payment, and now the IRS needs to be taken care of, and that's money that you'd allocated for something else. So it's just sound business sense, in my opinion, to work with a professional. We do it here at Eagle. We don't do payroll in-house by any means. It's not something that I could handle, and I don't think our clients should try and handle it themselves, no matter what size they are.